Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Abby and I talk about plants and planty things all the time. So if you're a planty person, then you are definitely in the right place. But today I'm going to be talking about a plant accessory. I'm going to be talking about the Elechomes Humidifier. And I have had this for nearly 2 months now, so I wanted to use it properly before I actually went into reviewing it, just so it was a fair review. And I love this. I had a problem with it at the beginning, which Elechomes kindly fixed and resolved for me, which I'll go into, but I love this humidifier. And it was something that took me ages to buy because it's $89.99, and I was like, for a humidifier, that's so expensive. But if you see the videos of this, if you see the demonstrations and you see it in you see it working, you see why you're paying that money. So this is on full blast at the moment. I've just had it on a heating element. So it was just pumping out warm mist, and now it's cool again. But this clearly is a humidifier that's got some power in it, and I really like that. And to me, that was almost a selling point, that you could clearly see it was working, rather than the smaller ones that I've got that are just crap. They're just, unfortunately, you tend to get what you pay for, is that rule. I paid $89.99 and it is a good piece of machine. But yes, this has many different settings on it. I don't use them all. I have tried using them just so I can review them better, but I don't use them all. The lock screen I don't use. I don't have kids, I don't have animals, or no one's gonna be touching these buttons other than me, so I don't use that lock screen, but that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't use the sleep mode because I don't sleep in here and it doesn't bother me, and it turns off when I go to bed. But you do have the sleep screen, so it's a ZZZ and it will switch off, so you've got no screen there. You've got screen off as well. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know what the difference is, I'm not gonna lie. Screen off is obviously screen off. Sleep mode, I assume it's just turning it off completely, maybe? No, I'm not gonna lie, I don't use that, I don't know what that's for. But we've got the timer, so I can say work for 3 hours, it will work for 3 hours and it will stop, which I don't use, but that would be I use the other setting more because the other setting is just brilliant. But if I was going to the office, if I was going out and I wanted to set it for a certain amount of time, that's amazing. You can do that up to 12 hours. Go back to 0. I personally use the humidity level. So I will say 60%. I've set it at 60%. It will keep working until it gets to 60%. Then it will stop. And then when the humidity level goes right down to 5% below what you've set it at, so 55%, it will switch back on again. So it will keep that 60% kind of level, which I think is great. I wake up, I turn this on, and then I don't need to worry about it at all during the day. It will keep that maintain that level. And then before I go to bed, I turn it off. So I do think that's great. I struggle getting it to 60%. This screen, so this is telling me it's at 60% to be set at, and then 50% is what the meter reading actually is now. So it's actually 50% humidity in my flat right now. Without this working, it sits at 35 to 38%, which is mental. I now understand why my ferns, my calatheas, my finicky plants were unhappy, because I don't know, no one can tell what the humidity is anywhere unless you're an absolute whiz. But I always thought it was higher than that, so I was really surprised to see that. So yeah, that's the reason why my plants weren't happy. But now it's at 50% humidity. And then I've got the levels. So this is level 1. You see, it's very subtle. Maybe if you want a subtle amount of humidity, then that's good for you. This is level 2. So it's still pumping out a good amount, but I just keep it at level 3. I like to be I like to see it working, you know. I like the craziness about it. It's just like, it's so strong. I think it's really cool. So the other thing that I love, like I think this is amazing, it's got these nozzles at the top, and I'll insert some footage so you can see it properly, but it's got some nozzles and it's got two that I can separate. So I'm telling it now, the bigger nozzles coming out this way and then the smaller nozzles going out that way, and I think that's genius, and it's so convenient because I have plants all behind there, and then I want it to come over here because I've obviously got plants this way. But that is great, and I think that was a selling point for me. And the fact that it reaches up to 700 square foot. So although these plants on the other side of my room aren't next to my humidifier, they are still experiencing the levels of humidity that I've got going over here. So I think that's really cool. Another key feature about this particular model, and I think it's the only model that Elechomes have this feature with, is that it's a top fill. So I will literally take it up like a little bucket, like I'll take the lid off, I'll take it up, carry it to my sink, pour in water and put it back down. I am not taking it up, turning it upside down, unscrewing the top. Do you know what I mean? I'm not having that issue and that kind of faff of water everywhere, because that's what would happen. There would be water everywhere. So I think that is an absolute gem. I love that. And I was actually proceeding to buy the black version, not of this because they don't have a black version of this, but the black model, which was a bottom fill, and the difference was £7. And I haven't experienced a bottom fill humidifier before, so I didn't realise how annoying it would be. I can imagine how annoying it would be now. I have to fill this up every second day, but I didn't realise how annoying it would be. It was black. I kind of wanted what other people didn't have. Everyone's got the white, I wanted the black. It's just the way I am. But the difference was £7, and my husband was like, Abby, just get the better one, get the best. If you're gonna get a humidifier and you're gonna spend that much money, just may as well spend another £7. So I did, and I'm really glad I did. In terms of how my plants are liking it, my plants are clearly loving it. They're really loving it. This pushes out, like this Adamsonia pushes out a leaf like every week at the moment. It's really full. This plant isn't usually up there, and it's got a bit of a wet leaf now from that, but this plant's usually here, so it sits kind of like on the floor here, and I don't know, the leaves are just looking so much better. And then this plant, again, constantly pushing out new growth. I got this about 2 months ago, and it was much smaller, so I do know, and I can see the effects it's having on my plants, which is just really, it's obviously the main aim, to make sure my plants were happy. And now I know how crap my humidity was in the flat. I kind of will never not use one now. And I really like, this is not to do with plants, but I like turning it so both nozzles are there, and then when I'm sat here on an evening, it's like a spa. Like I'll literally just let it hit my face, and I really like that. It just, I suffer with dry skin, and I don't know whether, well, dry oily skin, so yay, I get best of both worlds, but I don't know if it's helping my dry skin or not, but I kind of like the feeling of that spa treatment, so I think that's really cool. But I can only say good things about this. And one thing to note was, the first one I had wasn't working on the heating element, and I had a few back and forths with Elechomes. So basically I sent them an email saying it's not working. Every time I put the heating element on, it just stops, and they asked me to send them a video of it stopping, and then they told me what they think I should do to resolve it. I did that, it wasn't working. I sent another video. This was like, they were replying to me every day, so this was like one email a day kind of thing. Didn't take long at all. And they could see that it was a faulty machine. So they sent me out a new one straight away. They kind of fixed that problem, and now obviously the heating element's fine. It does work on warm mist. I don't use it for warm mist. Maybe I probably will. I will in winter when it's cold, but it's summer here and I just don't need it at the moment. But they were really, really, really good about that, and I just want to say how impressed and kind of blown away with the customer service that I had from them. They were brilliant. So they sent me out a new one, and then a week later they sent me an email, like a follow-up, to say, how are you getting on with your humidifier now? Is it working? Are you happy with it? And I just thought that was amazing. Like, I buy into companies that I know care about their customer service, and I think if they care that much about their customer service, then they obviously put that much care into their product. And I found that really, really good. I don't know, like, I think if you're working and you're buying things from a company that do have that support, so you might not have a problem with it now, but later on down the line, if it plays up, if you know you have that good customer service team there to reach out to, it just makes life a lot easier. And I really, really, really recommend them on the fact that their customer service team was brilliant. I think that's all I have to say about it. Obviously, we've got the remote control. Everything that's on the screen on the actual machine is on here as well. I don't use this because I don't know, I turn it off, like I keep saying. I turn it on in the morning, turn it off at bed. Like, I don't really have to do much with it. So I don't use this, but this is convenient if you don't want to stand up. Like, you can just like turn it off, you know. I don't use that. The one thing, like I said this before, the one thing I do notice about this is because I use tap water for watering my plants. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever be that person that uses filtered water or buys bottled water. I'll pour glasses of water and I'll leave them around the flat. So apparently this doesn't work, apparently it does, I don't know, but I do this. But my more kind of sensitive plants, I will leave the tap water out for 24 hours before watering the plants. But I use tap water in this, and it is apparent because I've had this for nearly a month and a half, this particular one, and I've cleaned it thoroughly twice in that period, because at the top here, where the water comes out, there's an inside actually, but I obviously notice it from the outside of it. It's like a lime scale ring, and that is obviously because the minerals in my water are a bit nasty, and you know, I have to give it a good clean. So I know Elechomes suggests that you use filtered water. That will be why. And I think over time it could potentially ruin the whole mechanism, like if you don't clean it, like if you don't keep on top of cleaning it. But I do keep on top of cleaning it and I don't have a problem. But yeah, I think it's a great piece of like machine. I was worried about all this water. Like, if you think about it, I fill this up and every 2 days I need to refill it. So all of that water, that tank of water, is going into my flat. And I was thinking, what about my electricals? Like, I don't know, like sometimes I keep my headphones here on this sofa. Would it ruin that? And it's, you know, once it touches, like once it lands, like the humidity, obviously it doesn't have that kind of like damp approach. And I didn't know what I was looking at before. I've never really had a decent humidifier, so I didn't know what to expect. And I thought there would be wet surfaces or damp or even some sort of like evidence of a humidifier being right there, but there's not at all. Other than if you're pointing it right at your plant, then like that is a bit wet because it's literally directly there. But like I said, that's never usually there. But yeah, I just wanted to jump on here and kind of give my review, my non-paid, honest review of this product, and it is a big thumbs up from me. I really, really like it. I do recommend it, and the fact that the customer service and the actual team behind the brand is excellent as well. I just think that should give people a bit more confidence in purchasing from them, because obviously they do care and they do like their products, and they do care about the customers. So hopefully you found this review, it might have been brief in comparison to other people's technical reviews on it, but I'm reviewing what I use and how most people will probably use them. They won't use all those sleep, lock, mode, all that kind of thing, unless you've got small children that love to touch things. But hopefully you found this helpful, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!